I'm back again with another presentation from Easy as Accounting Software. Where we left off, I was going through the printing to an RTF file. If you go to our website, there is further information on printing to an RTF file. So I think you'll find that really interesting. If I duck up to the internet right now, and I'll show you where that is. If you jump up to here, there is a bit more information which might explain that a little bit more in depth. I jump down here and I go down to printing to a PDF. Click here to PDF. It talks about printing to a PDF and it talks about how you can see this information here. It's a little bit more in depth than what I've spoken about. It explains it a bit more in depth for you. It tells you where you can get a PDF printer from. And you have another one over here called a printing guide. It talks about this printing to an RTF file. Okay, it's not much there. It's only a little bit extra information, but it explains it a little bit more in detail there. What I want to do now is duck out of the screen and I want to have a look at this screen. We're going back to the original invoice screen. From here, it's pretty obvious. It lists the invoices we've already done. If we come back another day and we actually want to edit any of these invoices or have a look at them, we click the edit button. Right now I can go back and edit this one here that we did to Bob's Hardware. I did that as a dummy earlier. If I click edit, I'm seeing Bob's Hardwares. Now I click finish again, I'm exiting back out of it. And what's so good about this as well is if I edit an invoice, say I edit Bill Smith's, I come back next week and Bill Smith, I'm doing much the same job for him, except all I'm not doing is doing his shed. I can quickly open up the previous invoice I had for him. I can click copy. Copy this invoice, yes. Some editing may be required, that's okay. I finish that, I jump down to here, 454, and it's a copy of that invoice. What we haven't got in it though is the name. We won't copy the name, but it copies the contents of the invoice. So what's good about it is it's really good if you have a lot of information down here that it's duplicatable each month or each week with a client. You can quickly do that. Now I can delete that line out of there. I can jump up to here and I can select him from the list, but I didn't add him earlier. See, what we can do, if I jump back into this invoice, if I had added him to the list, I can click add to. If I click select, you get an option to select customers from your address book. I can add this. I can add him to the address book and say, I want to add these details to the address book, right? So I can come back next week and I do another invoice for him as we just did then. I copy this old invoice. I can select the customer I want. Oh, that's the customer I want to send it to. Click select and his details go in there. So you can store a whole database full of people's details. If we jump back to the main screen, if we look at this address book area, this is where it saves it to. I've saved Bill Smith's entry. Now, there's only one there, because that's the only one I've got. But here we can actually now put additional information if we want. So this information is always used on invoices and quotes, etc. But we can put other information here if we want. So that's where that comes from.